Hi, my name is Molly Ruth, and this video is about my IT103 research paper. And my topic that I chose was iOS 8, and I chose this just because it's something that a lot of people know about. Even if you don't use Apple products, you still hear about it over social everything. Everybody talks about it because it might be really annoying or really helpful. But yeah, so I wanted to go into researching this. And everybody knows that iOS is the operating system used by Apple for their products, and iOS 8 was the most recent update that came out recently, and it came with a couple benefits. Some of these benefits were the battery monitoring, camera timer, interactive notifications, and voice messaging through iMessage, and also people shortcuts. So just to go over a couple of those, the camera timer, it allows you to set a timer for when you're taking a picture, so it makes it easier for you to figure out the quirks in whatever you're doing, so you can get the picture right the first time and not have to take a ton and then delete things. Interactive notifications, basically when you get a notification for, let's say, a text message, it comes up at the top of your screen. You can click on that and slide it down and then just reply there without leaving whatever app you're currently in. And then voice messaging. Basically, that's for when you're in a conversation, you're on iMessage, and there's something maybe going on like music, or maybe there's just something that you want to tell someone about, but it's easier to speak it than actually type it out, and you don't want to take the time to call them. So it's like leaving a voicemail, but in your text messages. Also, in this paper, I covered the legal and ethical issues. One of the legal issues that came up with iOS 8 was the fact that, unlike their previous operating systems, now they can't bypass your codes, so that when the government wants to get information on your phone, they can't provide it to them. So basically what happened in the past was, if the government wanted to get something on your phone, they could send it to iPhone or to Apple when they couldn't get through, and Apple could bypass your passcodes and give the information to the government. But now the system no longer allows Apple to do that, so your information is more securely protected. And I also talked about security and privacy, and the new operating system has hardware and firmware features used to protect your phone from viruses and malware, which are no longer only for desktops and laptops. Basically, that means that you can get viruses and stuff on your phones now, but the new iOS 8 system prevents that from happening. Also, for privacy, you can now, on the newer Apple products like the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 6s, there's Touch ID, which basically allows you, instead of using a passcode, you can use your fingerprint to get into your phone. So it's just an easier way to get into your phone, and also it keeps people from overseeing your passcode and getting in. Some social problems that came up with it: while most of the new features provided by the new operating system seem all helpful and great, there are a few downsides and a few risks that will be taken. On a social risk level, certain features may be helpful, but used at an inappropriate time could cause distress for the user. An example of this would be the new voice message feature. While it's helpful and a way to send a quick audio of whatever might be going on, you run the risk of being a little too open with it. I know from experience, because I got iOS 8 on my phone, it's really easy to accidentally click it and send messages. So you might, I don't know, send a message to somebody that you didn't mean to send, and it could kind of give away some information about something that you weren't actually trying to share. And it also makes it easy to send drunk, I don't know, messages to people. You might not want certain information shared, but when your brain isn't fully functioning right, you can do it very easily. You can just send a message to someone and they can just access that, and it's just a little bit worse than drunk text. It's like a actual voice message. And basically my conclusion was that when you have an iPhone, it isn't a question of if you want the upgrade. You basically have to get the operating system, because if you don't upgrade, it causes problems on your phone. I recently had this happen to me. My phone started running slower, and then I stopped receiving iMessages and stuff. Basically, your device will work better when you keep getting the updates, and if you don't get the updates, your phone starts getting slower and slower and slower, and after a while it forces you to get the upgrade. So I hated them, obviously, because I didn't want to take the time to put them on my phone. But after researching the operating system, I learned more about the benefits and how to use them, so I can use them more responsibly and actually appreciate them. And after researching, also, I can tell the attention that is put into the little details of how things can be improved. So basically, Apple took things that they thought would be important to the user and tried to make those like changes in their operating system to benefit the user. And it also doesn't always come out the way that it should, but that's why this is iOS 8, and then they'll come out with an iOS 8.1 or 0.3. Basically, they keep upgrading their different operating systems to keep up with little glitches that they find out only after releasing the system. And the operating systems keep becoming more advanced, and they do this to meet the needs of the users. And if the need isn't met by the system, it will most likely be promised in the next operating system that will come out. And usually they come out about every like 6 months or so.